back to Chris's question a little bit more, how do you navigate when you have to put on the art director hat rather than your illustrator one?
Great question, because I feel a lot of the things that I've learned in the branding world has crossed over to my current illustration style. So I was very big, as mentioned, in addition to imposter syndrome, one of the struggles that I've had is what is my style? You could easily tell who the artist is just by looking at their work, right? And one of the things I thought was a hurdle or a challenge to me was that I didn't have one consistent style. But I saw something on Threads a couple months ago, and I thought it was really cool. And I may butcher it, but this illustrator didn't look at art style. She looked at it as like art language. What is your language? What is your visual language? And to me, my visual language is just how do I tell that story in a small 5x5 or 5x7 square print? You'll notice if you see my work, it took me a while to notice this too until it's been a few years and I really take a look back at my displays at a show or my work at a show on the displays. I was like, wow, I use a lot of typography, whether it's handwritten or whether I use a graphic design program like InDesign, Illustrator, or Photoshop, the holy trinity of design in my work. And it's something that I know. So I'm like, oh, so that's where that graphic design experience and background bleeds into my current craft in terms of what I love. Now, I mentioned Ollie Moss and how clever he is. I try to emulate that cleverness, but it's also the reason why I gravitate towards him because that's how I approached my brand work. So we were talking about logos. When I develop a logo, it can't just be a logo. It has to have a story behind it. It has to have that aha moment, right? Something I love presenting in front of clients when I'm doing logo work is if there's like let's say there's a taco shop called Taco Dog. I'm in San Diego. We have taco shops all over the place. And I do it like, maybe a taco icon, but there's like a hidden dog in there in the negative space or something. I love doing clever work like that because at first the client won't see it. And it's like when you're telling the story, you're going through the brand. Oh, and by the way, look, there's a hidden dog in the negative space. And they're like, oh, crap, that's really cool. Like I didn't notice that. And I always say the best graphic design is the stuff you don't notice. You're looking at a menu, a restaurant menu. You don't think about the graphic design. You're just reading it. You don't think about the hierarchy of typography, right? Nobody's looking at that or the color, how the color makes your eye go to one area to another and how it helps you navigate a menu, right? Everything around us comes from art, right? It comes from an artist. So going back to that, so I take that approach that I was talking about with my logos, with my artwork as well. Or I put my own personal experiences to it. So for example, the Star Wars Mandalorian print set that I have, I call it the This Is the Way series. And I put a lot of my parental experience with that. I'm a parent, I have two kids. And the way I approach it is from a parent's perspective. It's Mando showing Grogu, like, this is the way. And he's like teaching him right from wrong, essentially. Anyway, I try to take that clever approach to my artwork there as well.
Thanks for checking out another episode of Origins, a Creative Journey, a Designer Con podcast. Please follow and subscribe on whatever platform you're streaming this on, and check us out on Instagram at Origins, a Creative Journey. And if you have any suggestions or questions or comments, email us at deconpodcast@gmail.com. And make sure to get your tickets and hotel deals now for DesignerCon's 20th anniversary celebration in Las Vegas, Nevada, November 14th through 16th, 2025. I hope to see you there, but in the meantime, go make some art.